Tinubu invading Niger will cause him more harm than good. There are several mistakes that Tinubu will make if eventually he decides to invade Niger today. Now, I said it before that most Northerners are from Niger, and most Hausas you see have their lineage traced back to Niger. We can see it in the case of Buhari, where he asks that train rail should be built from Kaduna to Niger so that it won't disconnect him from his cousins. So most Northerners are related to Nigerians. They are related to Nigerians. So it will be very harming if Bola Ahmed Tinubu decide to invade Niger Republic. Thereby, Tinubu Nigeria action against Niger Rep could boomerang and seriously undermine Tinubu's support in the northwest. The ordinary people in the northwest are probably going to align with the brethren in Niger Republic. The open letter by the former president of Niger calling USA and EU that Russia may control the Sahel is a pointer that this could be a geopolitical quagmire. Nigeria's interest here is to have friendly neighborhood and have no interest in geopolitical games. You see, what they are trying to do, what the West is trying to do, is to engage in games, thereby making Nigeria and Niger a war zone between the Russia and the US. This is what they successfully did in Sudan, and they are trying to do it again in Nigeria versus Sahel. So one mistake that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be making is him helping the Western world to cause a war. Because what these people do, they only care about their interests. They will never bring war to their land. They will never allow war to come to their land, no matter how they try to destroy other people's land. So what they are more interested in is their interests, and they are trying to create enmity between Nigeria and their neighbors. So at the end of the day, what will happen is that the Northerners will turn against Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which eventually I've explained in my previous video that these people are more in the military. And if they see that this war is going against them, they can easily cause a coup in Nigerian soil. And that is not what we plan for. On the planned use of military force in Niger Republic, we have over nothing less than 1 million Nigerians living in Niger. Any country that wants to start a war with a country, first of all, evacuate their own country members, their own citizens. This is what US did in Afghanistan. When they noticed that this thing is about to get sour, they brought a jet, evacuated their citizen from Afghanistan. That's what they did. But you want to start a war, your citizens are counting up to millions in the country. So that means when you are firing the missile, because you see, Nigeria really do not care about their citizens. If you see it from what happened in the xenophobia in South Africa, in what happened in Ghana, in what recently happened in Sudan, you will see that Nigerians do not care about their citizens. So you want to start a war, you're already telling the government that you want to start a war without evacuating the citizen. How daft could that be? As a believer in democracy, I deploy and condemn totally the unconstitutional change of government in Niger Republic and call for swift return to constitutional order. Nigeria and ECOWAS should utilize every means available within the international laws to exert required pressure on those that absorb power in Niger Republic while protecting our brothers and sisters in that country. The pressure must not include military expeditions that could exacerbate the situation with attendant needless losses of human lives and long-term negative consequences in fragile Sahel region and northwest of Nigeria. Nigeria and Africa must now sit up against unconstitutional usurpation of power by civilian manipulation of electoral process, criminal change of tenureship by sit-tight leaders or military adventurism. All these have continued to depress development in Africa and inflict avoidable extreme poverty in the wealthiest continent in the world. Now, the threat of military intervention has been reconsidered. That idea by itself was hastily conceived by a man who desperately needs validation from the West, which is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And the ECOWAS decision to prioritize diplomacy in Niger is commendable. However, to address the root causes of coups, it is crucial to confront election rigging and institutional compromise. These practices, seen in Nigeria and across Africa, undermine democracy and breed instability. ECOWAS and other regional bodies need to promote transparency, strengthen institutions, and ensure free and fair elections for lasting peace in West Africa. Before we can begin to look into what is causing the coup, let's address the home. Let's address this problem where we have the military or the democratic system, the democratic system of government, where they hide under democracy to commit a kind of evil. And know that we only believe so much in this democracy because the West said so, not because it benefits us. Since 1999, Nigeria has returned to democracy, and still today, can people tell me just one sector that is working or improved? Actions and consequences. The recent happening was long due. African leaders had for long hidden behind democracy to perpetuate dictatorship, classicism, and forcing hardship on people. They are hiding under democracy. So there is no workable country that is working and you say democracy. In fact, democracy is not even a system of Nigeria or Africa. Democracy does not work for us. We have to elect one leader and the leader will just be commanding people. It doesn't work like that. In far back, in many years before the whites invaded Africa, were practicing the kingship system of government, where you have every town, villages have their kings. Every local government have their kings, people they adore, that make rules. It has been working, and then you won't see fences surrounding anybody's house. Everybody trusts everybody. There are rules till this white invaded Africa and gave us democracy. Ever since they gave us democracy, Africa has not recovered. So these are the mistakes that Bola Ahmed will be making. Number one is, if he invade Niger, let him know that the North is going to turn against him. Number two is that invading Niger is more like invading Nigeria. You have millions of Nigerians living in Niger, and they won't watch Nigeria killing their people and leave your people to live in peace. It's not going to be possible. So before you start a war, evacuate your citizens. Make sure you spend the money. And nobody is going to sponsor the war. It is going to be from Nigerian pocket. Everything is going to come out from Nigerian pocket. A country that is suffering from hunger, insecurity, want to start a war with a country that said they are tired of their dictatorship, where you have a democratic system of government, yet it is more like you are in a military regime. This is what happened during the time of Buhari, where people were being killed because they spoke against him. Africa, it is time to rise. Thanks for supporting the Future News. Peace.